Hi guys, and welcome to Rathwulven Bushcraft. Thanks a lot for tuning in. This video is part 1 of a new series on this tool right here, the bowdrill. Because I want to guide you through your process of becoming proficient in using the bowdrill step by step. So please take a moment to click the subscribe button right now and also click the bell notification button so you stay updated about the upcoming videos in this series, okay? And yeah, before we get started, why is the bowdrill such an awesome thing? And why do bushcrafters do that? Well, the bowdrill is as old as man himself. Go back to Stone Age times. There were no big lighters, no sipples, no matches, no flint and steel. So primitive men had to use tools like these to create enough friction and heat to ignite a bit of wooden dust and then create an ember and hence build a fire from that. And fire is important because fire basically gives you warmth, the capability to cook your food. It's good for your psyche, it keeps the boogeyman away, right? So this is why that tool is so incredibly awesome. It has been used for thousands and thousands of years in Stone Age times, Mesopotamia, Egypt, up until the Middle Ages, because poor people could not afford any modern tools, wax and all these kind of things you would need to create candles or comparable tools, right? So yeah, mastering this skill is kind of like one of the things that a bushman at some point needs to do, right? And I want to help you with this, and I say we just dig into a couple of conceptual thoughts, a couple of principles that you have to take in mind if you are a beginner. Let's go. So the first point we need to take into consideration before we get started with the bowdrill is that persistence is key. And what do I mean by this? Well, if you are an absolute beginner, you will fail, and you will fail repeatedly if you're trying to generate an ember from a bowdrill. It can be really frustrating. Let me tell you this. When I started off, it took me about 9 months or so to get a hold of the different types of materials I could use, and also about the technique, the posture, all these kind of things that I will talk about in the future episodes. And yeah, if you cannot manage your frustration, and if you cannot push through that bitter time of failing over and over again, you will never succeed. That's just a simple truth. So bear that in mind before you get started. It is a process. This brings us directly to point number 2. Practice, practice, practice. And if you think you're done, just practice a little more. You can do this anywhere, not only in the woods. You can practice at home, in your garage, in your basement, in your backyard if you have one, even in your living room or your bedroom if you want to upset your spouse, right? But make sure that you just get busy and do that regularly. Develop a routine. I personally train about 2 to 3 times a week, even if it's just for 15 minutes, because it keeps my muscle memory fresh, right? Also, can't stress this enough. Just get going and be persistent in your practice. Point number 3, develop a decent stamina. And please get me right from the beginning, I do not intend to shame anyone who might be overweight. And I'm not intending to insult smokers or people that are in general not interested in sports. But you need to invest in your body and your physique, right? You need to become stronger and especially, more of an enduring type of person. You need stamina, you need to be able to perform on the long run, right? Because what I do see all the time is that people start off with the bowdrill and then they go like as if it was a sprint, right? And after 30 seconds they're so depleted that they just can't continue, don't get the ember going, then they throw away their tools, give up, and they'll never manage to get a fire going with the bowdrill method. So the best thing to do is go and invest in your own body. Start hiking, swimming, go ride a bicycle instead of your car. Make sure that you build up stamina, okay? Point number 4, develop an analytical mind. And why is this so important? You need to be really conscious and mindful about what you're doing. Because if things go wrong with one of your drillings, for example, you need to understand why things are going wrong. The same thing, for example, if you use your spindle and you turn it and it starts squeaking like a mouse, like weak, 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 weak. Why is that? Why does the material behave in that way? Be really analytical and figure out the problems yourself. If you're not mindful and you don't pay attention to what you're doing, you're missing clues. It's as simple as that. And that's why it's also so dangerous if you just listen to one-sided advice from other people, because you just try one particular method, right? And you never really try to go into the subject matter and to do troubleshooting and to understand the principle of a hearth board like this, a spindle like this, a bearing block, and so on. So yeah, gather practical experience and work with it analytically and mindfully. Point 5 goes hand in hand with point number 4, and that is refine your tools over and over again. If you take a look right here, that spindle is stripped from its bark. It's a piece of hazel and it has a much smoother surface without the bark to work with. It would also work with the bark, but it's just a tiny refinement, right? And you can use other natural materials like a bit of pine resin. What this is for, I will show you in another video. If you take a look right here, my bearing block has grooves. This is simply due to the fact that it has more friction, so I get a better grip on it. And there's many little things that you can do in order to refine your kit. And if you want to know how to refine your kit, you need to adhere to point number 4 and get practical experience, right? It's as easy as that. Moving on to point number 6. Using a bow drill is not a race and you're not in a competition. It's really important to grasp that thought, because there are people out there who are all macho about bushcraft and survival, like, yeah, I can do the bow drill, me, great man, you know what I mean? And it's not a competition. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You do it in your own tempo. You have to work in a calm and collected manner. If you're starting to get hasty and you just use your bow like you will never get successful. And there's no reason to speed up a process that simply takes time. So again, don't consider this to be any type of competition or race. It might be a challenge, but that's it. And last but not least, point number 7. If you got a bow drill kit already, get it now. And if you don't have one, get out into the woods at the earliest point possible and carve yourself one without any instructions from my side or anyone else, and then bring it home. After that, please continue the series, because then we will work together and practice together. You can compare your kit to mine and figure out a lot of things on the way. So make sure you got a bow drill set ready right now. That said, I'm really happy that you watched this video. I'm happy that you want to give this a try. It's a great challenge. It will teach you a lot of things. And yeah, if you want to stay up to date, as I said before, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to click the bell notification button for the upcoming parts. And if you want to leave a comment with any kind of remark, question, maybe some criticism even, just post a comment below. I'm really happy if I can help you. I will reply to all of your comments. If you got something to add to this video, I will take this feedback for myself, because it also makes me learn, right? And yeah, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next video. Up until then, have a nice time outdoors, take care, and see you in the next video. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. If you want to support my channel, please consider becoming a Patreon. You can visit my Patreon page on www.patreon.com/Rathwulven-Bushcraft. A link to my Patreon page will also be posted in the information box below. Thank you in advance.